So the bill I'm going to sign today really builds off the success that we had last year. And I think some of these things are going to be really, really significant. And so, yes, last year we did ban ballot harvesting, but I think the concern was that would the penalties be severe enough if somebody's going around collecting and trafficking these ballots to get like a misdemeanor? You know, that may be something that wouldn't be sufficient deterrence. And so in this bill, we actually increase penalties for ballot harvesting. We make it if you ballot harvest in the state of Florida, this is now a third-degree felony that you could be hit with. And so and I just think it's important. The secret ballot, you go into the polling place, you have a curtain or you have dividers, and you go and you make that choice yourself. You put it in the counter, and that's kind of how they do it. Well, when you do the absentee ballots, it sends to your house. We need to do our best to make sure that that is a secret, private process. And if you have someone that can go collect dozens of ballots across an area, you wonder, how did those ballots get into that individual's hands? And it creates a lot of problems. So I think we're taking a very strong stand against ballot harvesting. I think it's justified, and I think that people can have confidence that if someone's voting absentee, they actually got the ballot and they actually sent it in. So we're very happy about that. And oh, by the way, last year's bill, which we got dinged on this one provision. We're going to win on appeal. But we got rid of these drop boxes in Florida where you just have drop boxes sitting around. Nobody knows what's going on. So you actually, you could just have a box somewhere in the middle of town. And so in Florida, you can request absentee, you can send it in the mail, or you can bring it to an actual election site during the hours of operation. To just have these things sitting around, I think, was not good. And so they're trying to mess with us in court. But I can tell you, even people that are on the opposite side of this looked at that judge's ruling and they say that thing is going to get reversed. And so I feel very confident that we'll be able to do that well. We also strengthen voter ID for the mail-in ballots. The Department of State's actually going to study ways to do more in terms of some of the envelopes that are going to be done. And I think that that's something that we need to do. I mean, if you're getting an absentee ballot, then make sure that's your ballot. You go in to vote, and in the process, you show your ID to be able to get into the polling place. We want to make sure the same for the mail. We also, in this bill, even though they're supposed to, and look, some supervisors have done a really good job at cleaning the voting rolls, but not all of them have done it. This bill now requires them to clean their voting rolls every year. And so I think it's important. We're also, in this bill, broadening our prohibition against Zuckerbucks. And so what we did last year was say, okay, you cannot have private money going to the administration of the elections. But then what some of these elections offices were doing around the country is saying, okay, you can't do that, but we're going to take Zuckerbucks for legal expenses or all these other things. So we've expanded it like, no way, there's not going to be any nook and cranny. You are not getting Zuckerbucks in any of this stuff. And then probably the most significant part of this bill is you can sit there and say, no ballot harvesting, voter ID, all these things, clean the voter rolls. But how do you know that that's going to be enforceable? And the fact of the matter is, when people see something that they think may violate the law, if you call the supervisor of elections, well, they're not investigators. They're not law enforcement. But what are you going to do? You call a state attorney's office? They're just not. They do other crimes. They're having to face someone robs a bank, all that other stuff. Some of them may not care as much about the election stuff. I think it's been mixed to how those reactions are going to be. So we just want to make sure whatever laws are on the books, that those laws are enforced, and that if people know that we're going to enforce the law, I think everyone will be very happy. So we are creating, for the first time ever, in state government, an Office of Election Crimes and Security to be able to prosecute voter fraud. And at the end of the day, we want to be in a situation where everyone knows the rules. In Florida, this is very accessible to be able to do. And know the rules, know that you can go, vote in person, you can do absentee. What you can't do, collect a bunch of ballots and dump them somewhere. So I think it's good. And I think that this office will be very, very much appreciated. And it will allow us to have people who really specialize in election security and election integrity. And so that's going to be getting off the ground very soon. And I think you're going to see people are really going to be excited. And so my message is just, I don't think there's any other place in the country where you should have more confidence that your vote counts than in the state of Florida, which is great.
Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that